Welcome in, everybody, to the TK Pod. My name is Tyler Kluver. I was once a Division I football player. I am now a podcaster, fitness coach, and CrossFit athlete, doing all of that as a husband and father of two. This show is an audio journal, a spot for me to vent or ramble about thoughts I have relating to fitness and health, my personal competitive aspirations, business, entrepreneurship, and more. I hope that each show can provide one small bit of value for you, the listener. Regardless, I'm glad you're here. Let's have a day. Let's go. Welcome in. Welcome. It's the TK Pod. As scheduled, for those that have been on this summer schedule with me, it's been light. It's been infrequent. It's been not like it usually has been. And that's because life has just taken a different path. And that doesn't mean that this podcast is over or that it's winding down or that it's going to stop. At some point it may, maybe not. We're going with the flow. And right now, this is the cadence in this season of life, partially because of what we're going to talk about today, and that is the Monster Games, which has consumed my life for, well, really this year of 2026. I want to say that the registration for the qualifier, the online qualifier that got us to this point, opened up on January 1st. Like basically opened up with the ball dropping and the new year hitting. And I registered immediately. As we've discussed, I had planned all the way back last year at this time that maybe this was going to be something I set my sights on for 2026. And that was going to be my one goal, my one competitive goal. I didn't even necessarily care about the regular CrossFit season. The open, the quarterfinals, I did both of those. We had our experiences there. I was somewhat okay with the placements and where I finished on those, but this was the goal. And we are here. And the wife is texting me because she's at the store asking if something is a good deal or not. So let me just hit that. For anybody watching, I apologize. All right, and we're back. My wife is texting me. This is the kind of wife you're looking for right here. The wife wants to know if I want these muscle milks. Wow, they've got a new Pro 33 grams. They've got 26 grams. New muscle milk proteins. We love to see the rebrand. Okay, on the back end, those listening won't have to listen to that. On the front end of the video, for anybody watching, sorry, life. She's at the store buying stuff in preparation for this weekend, the Monster Games. We qualified all the way back in, I don't know, the first half of February. It was open for like 16 or 18 days. Crazy long qualifier, abnormally long. Gave us way too much time to do these. Did all of them twice, except for the very short lunge one. Did one of them 3 times. So this has been a long process, and we're here. We are 3 days away as I record this podcast. It's Tuesday, the week of the elite workouts. The official full list of workouts has been fully released. We're going to go over them in today's show and talk very briefly because there's a lot. This is a big competition as far as volume wise for this level of CrossFit, which is very cool. I feel like being a part of this is actually, I feel fortunate and lucky to be a part of it. And that's actually part of how I'm trying to approach this whole weekend mentally. I've been very anxious for weeks now, but especially as it got to last weekend and we were like just a week out, and then yesterday hit and the workouts are all announced, and today's now I'm looking forward to like, oh, in 2 days I get to leave. I'm very much so trying to enjoy every moment of this. Not just I want to get to the part where we're headed down to Kansas City and the weekend has started. I want to enjoy this taper. I want to enjoy using yesterday and today and tomorrow to figure out my strategies for the workouts. I've tried to enjoy every piece of this. It's been a lot of mental and physical energy that's been put into this, and all of that is going to shift in tension Sunday afternoon when this thing ends, and now the Monster Games is no longer part of my life, part of my focus. It's not what I'll be training for. I have zero idea. I have absolutely zero. After this competition, we're going to the lake for the entire next week, and so we're basically putting life on hold, taking a little vacation. Perfect timing. Worked out great. And after that, as far as this podcast, as far as my personal fitness competition goals, as far as what I'm going to train for next, when I'll get back into training, what all of that looks like, I have no idea. I do know one thing. I guess for the podcast, I do know that I will at some point try to do a 3-part series, maybe a 4-part series on each one of the days of competition at the Monster Games. I'll do a pod for each day, and then maybe a wrap-up pod of all the other stuff that wasn't included as far as the workouts go. But, yeah, the culmination is here, and it's very exciting. I am in a really good spot fitness-wise. I would say relative to what I would like to be for this competition, I'm looking at a 9.3 out of 10. If 10 is the exact shape that I wanted to come into this with, and the only reason I'm at 9.3 is and 10's very hard to enter a competition at. I don't know if anybody ever enters at exactly where they'd want to be. So 9-ish is a good spot to be. I had that weird respiratory deal about 6 weeks ago that lasted 2 weeks, and that really set me back, specifically on several things, and that's unfortunate, but I can't do anything about it. And then I'm coming into this thing with a couple very, very slight tweaks that likely won't even bother me in the heat of the moment, but do take a little extra tender care in the warm up and the cool down. A little bit of elbow tendonitis pain, and I tweaked my knee doing a 5-10-5 last Saturday. That has that pretty touchy as well right now. But ibuprofen and adrenaline should get me through no problem. So we're fairly healthy. And that's about it. We're going to go over these workouts very briefly. I'm going to say just some initial thoughts on each one. There are 900 total points available. When you go to a workout like that, I mean, I went to Wodapalooza. Wodapalooza is one of the biggest fitness competitions. They go all out. You get the full experience when you go there. On the team side of things, I got 6 workouts. 6 is pretty standard. If it's a 3-day competition, you're doing 2 each day, or like a 3-2-1 or a 1-2-3, something like that. Occasionally you'll find one of these regional level, semifinal level competitions that has 7 scores. You might get 6 workouts, but one of them's a double score, you get 700 points. Feel very fortunate that again, that this Monster Games, for some reason, the year I sign up, has 9 events. One of them is a 4-parter in the combine. We've talked about that. The other is a back-to-back, which takes away from like, oh, I'm warming up for this solo event, but it is 2 separate events that has like, its own time frame. So we're going to go over them. It's going to be a very fun competition to be a part of. The volume could get interesting. And yeah, we'll recap it all after this weekend, but let's take a look at the workouts that we have ready for us here. So I'm going to share the screen. This is the Competition Corner website. Can I do it in a way? Are we serious here? How do I? Maybe not. Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. Okay, let's just do it this way. I would like to customize this window, brother. I want this. Let's do small picture in picture. There we go. And there's myself on the side. So here is here's his first workout. And when it was announced a couple weeks ago, like the event, the general event schedule, and there were 9 events, I was like, oh my God, I'm really in for it. On Friday, we're gonna do two of the combine events. The combine, which we will get to in a second. I think the combine is technically on the leaderboard considered event 6, but we will actually start. The very first thing we will do that will be scored for this competition will be um, a very small window of time where we warm up and do our vertical jump and our broad jumps, which are 2 of the 4 things that are part of the combine on Friday morning. Um, Probably good to start with those. They're the most explosive of the entire thing, and you want to be the most fresh for those. So, uh, you know, I'll include the other 2 pieces of this on Saturday morning. The first thing we will do before the big run event is we'll run that 40 and the 5-10-5, the shuttle, which are the other 2 pieces of that combine score. The vert, broad, shuttle, and 40 are all worth 25 points individually. Um, for example, you get first on all 4 of them, you get 25 points per. You get 100 points for the event, you win the event, right? Is anybody going to get first on all of them? No. Uh, I do think I have a chance of getting first on 3 of them, depending on how these other guys are. I think I have a legitimate shot, and this is probably going to be my best finish of this of the. I would imagine this is going to be my best finish of the weekend on the combined combine event. Uh, Again, you're looking at if you're watching this event 1 right now, we're just going over the combine because it's a little bit more uh, detailed. Um, as far as those 4 individual things, I think I'm going to my vertical will be somewhere around 33 plus inches. You know, depending on the day, if I can jump 34 plus, that'd be great. Uh, Although we're using a laser system that isn't you're not touching a thing. I think it's just you jump and land and it calculates your vert. So that could be off. Who knows? Relative to the field, I think my vertical will be a top 5 vertical. Um, Potentially a top 3. It's not out of the question that I jump the highest of anybody there. Uh, I think there's legitimacy there. My broad jump as well, again, same kind of story. I wouldn't say I have a great chance of winning it, but there is a chance, and it should be definitely. I think it will be top 5, like hopefully top 3. So I should finish great on those 2 jumps. I'm guessing that third, it's probably 1 point per. So it's like, I don't know, you get 23 points for a third place. Like, I think I'll score very well there. On the next morning, the 5-10-5, I truly don't know who's going to beat me on that, but you never know who's going to show up to this, who has previous experience, who just balls out and runs a great time, or I run a bad time. Who knows? I think I will take first on that. And then the 40, I know I will not take first. The 5-10-5, I'm most confident in. The 40, I'm least confident in. And in fact, with the windows that they're giving us, you have 1 minute to do 2 attempts on both those runs. Assuming that I can get as close to 5 seconds flat as possible, I will not run a second rep. It's not worth it. Running a slightly better 40 might get me a couple different places, literally just a couple points. And those 2 points, even if I were to get them, are not worth the risk of pulling a hamstring, trying to go all out again within a minute, and then also just expending more energy in the heat before the big event on Saturday morning. So we're gonna run 140 rep, unless it's just drastically terrible, and we'll probably give the 5-10-5 2 attempts. Um, for each of the jumps, you get 3 jumps. Expecting to do pretty well in the combined 100 point total there. I would be very disappointed if I was not top 5. I'll still be disappointed, not as much uh, if I'm not top 3. Um, and my goal for it is to win the overall, um, or be close. So that'll be good for me. The actual first event is this one right here, and that's called Everyone Hates Hepner. And that is Jacob Hepner, who's a former games athlete who's programming this competition, helped program the competition. This first workout is the second longest workout of the 9. It is 15 total minutes, and it is intervals with no rest. It's basically a 15-minute time window that's broken up into 5 sets of 3 minutes. And in those sets of 3 minutes, you're gonna do sandbag cleans, or basically picking up a sandbag and putting it over a bar that's 4 feet off the ground, 48 inches tall, and then hopping on a bike and getting as many calories in the bike in that 3-minute time window. At 3 minutes, you get off the bike, go back to the sandbag. The sandbags go down in reps each round. So as you get more fatigued, more tired, you have less sandbags to put over the bar before you get on the bike, but you're also more tired. And in the 4th and 5th round, the sandbag goes from a 150 to a 200, so they get heavier. So there's a little bit of a twist there. This is going to be brutal. I have very little training experience with a bike erg. There's no skill to it, but just my pacing and knowing numbers on that and feel, this is gonna have to very much so be a for feel workout. Um, and that's not always the best thing, but it is what it is. Sandbag, I have hammered over the past month, month and a half, 2 months. But there is a crazy amount of sandbag reps in this workout. You're looking at 60 cleans, um, over a fairly high target. We're actually going to test this one today. This is going to be brutal. You're looking at chaos in this event, especially in that last round of just 4 sandbag cleans and then over 2 minutes worth of C2 biking. This event is going to be absolutely just like people are going to, and it's the first event of the weekend, so everybody's fresh. They're going to go hard as fuck. I mean, it's going to be insane. Probably least looking forward to this workout out of all of them. I just don't know what my capability is. I'm hoping the sandbag wears on people more than it does me, and we hope that you can push for as close to a top 10 in this event as possible. We'll see. So that's event 1. At least we get the longest one other than the big run out of the way. Friday night, we're going to do Dirty Fran, which is not long. This is going to be a sub 4-minute workout, hopefully closer to 3. Tested this one yesterday in a interval-ish fashion. Very simple. 21-15-9 of thrusters at 95 pounds, 3-2-1 of down and backs with a sandbag bear hug carry. So you're carrying the sandbag this time. One sandbag down and back is 60 feet, 30 out, 30 back. You do 3 of those, which is a total of 180 feet on the first round, 120 on the second round, 60 on the last round with those 21-15-9 sets of thrusters. This one is fast. There's not a lot of time to rest. It's going to hurt. Not much more else to say. It's about a 3.5-minute workout. There will be probably a couple dogs who are, short, like have a very short range of motion, but are also just insanely strong. That love this workout and maybe probably go sub 3. I would say definitely go sub 3. We're trying to stay as close to those guys as we can. Again, I relative to the field, thoughts on this? I would like to think that I'm at least middle of the pack here, but again, you just never know. With the sandbags being a part of these first 2 events, you just don't know what people's capability are with those. I'll be honest, both of the events are just toughness. They're just toughness events. Like, you can kind of always pick the sandbag up again. It does get really heavy, but like the name of the game on both of these is you have to keep moving. And the first day is just pure grit, just pure toughness. An hour after this third event is going to be your boy's worst event of the weekend. And that is a 2-minute window of just straight up max bar muscle ups. Not good for your boy. Um, and I'm sure there's, several other guys in the field that are sitting there looking at this going, "Oh my god, I am not a bar muscle up guy." I'm really not a bar muscle up guy. Been working on them, been doing a lot of them, but just max bar muscle ups in a 2-minute window. I mean, I suppose it could be worse. It could be a 3 or 4-minute window. I don't know. 2 minutes might make it so that I'm a little closer to some people, but my gas tank volume on max bar muscle ups is not a lot. Uh, I think my goal is 30. That would be one every 4 seconds. And you calculate in you're going to be resting for some of that. Like I feel like that would be a decent score. I don't think anybody, even if you stayed on the bar the entire time, if someone had that ability, I don't think someone could get 60, maybe not even 55. I think even 50 would be really hard in 2 minutes. So I think the best scores will be around 50, maybe high 40s. So if I can get up to 30, maybe into the mid 30s, maybe I have a chance there of not being bottom 10, but this is going to be a tough. I'm already preparing, and it is what it is, right? I can't change it or affect other people's ability to do bar muscle ups. This is just not, you have a 9 competition or a 9 event competition, you're going to run into some stuff that's not great for you. Event 3, 2 minutes of max bar muscle ups is the worst one on the board for me. Probably. I'm guessing this will be my worst relative score to the field. And I'm hoping that it's just not a bottom 5. As close to the teens, 19th, 20th as we can on this one would be great. Okay, so then you're to Saturday morning. Again, Saturday morning starts with the 40-yard dash and then the shuttle, and then you're gonna do the long run. This is the longest event of the weekend. For some of these guys, it will be sub 20 for the best. For a lot of the dudes, it's going to be over a 20-minute workout. Um, it is a 2-mile run into a 75-calorie row with a sprint to finish. And you'll be wearing a 40-pound vest the entire time. I've been training for this. This was announced July 1st. So we've had 2 months to work on this. I've given my best to trying to strategize and train and prepare for this one. And I know where I want to be. I'd like to be under 22 minutes on a solid run on when everything goes right. I think I can go under 22 minutes here, 21:40 something, 21:50 something. And wherever that lands is where it lands. I'm not the best runner. I should be able to catch a couple people on the row, 75 calories worth. But this isn't a workout that your boy is going to win here, probably. Again, we're looking to just try and be middle of the pack. 15th, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at a 15th here. Immediately after that is basically going over to the pool. We're going to hop in, warm up, and we're going to hit a 150-meter swim for time. This is the other one that was announced July 1st. Not a swimmer. In fact, April was the first time I was in a pool. April was the first time in my life in 31 years that I've swam a lap. I've swam a length. I've never been in a lap pool where I've swam a 25-yard or meter length. So from there to now I'm going to be racing 150 meters in a 50-meter pool, which is down, back, down. We've made a lot of progress here. Regardless of what the clock says when I finish this workout, the amount of just progress that I've made in life, in my ability to swim as a skill has been really, really rewarding over the last 3 months, and that's where we're sitting with for this. I hope that I started soon enough and I've approached this smart enough that I can actually grab a couple people here and I'm not last. But if I were to get last on the swim, I would not care. I did what I could do. I could not swim a 50-meter without stopping when I started this. Could hardly go 25. And I can now, swim this 150 meters in 2.5 minutes, a little less maybe, and I'll be really happy with that. And it is what it is. Hoping for that one is similar to the bar muscle ups. If we could be somewhere near 20th, I'd honestly be happy with it. Then the jumps that we take care of so that's the middle of the day Saturday. Big long break until Saturday night to event 7. And then this is where things get good for your boy. Saturday night into Sunday is where we've got some events where we might be able to eat a little bit. And that is an 11-minute time frame. You've got 4 intervals if you need it. The goal is 18 rope climbs. And the way you're going to get there is 2 minutes of work, 1 minute of rest. To start the workout or to start each 2-minute interval, you're going to hit 15 toes to bar and a 50-foot handstand walk out and back. You're going to arrive back at the rope and you're going to do as many rope climbs in that 2-minute work window as you can. So let's say I get 7 rope climbs, 15 toes to bar, 50-foot handstand walk. I get back. It's taken me 50 seconds to do all that. I now have 1 minute and 10 seconds to work on rope climbs. I get 7 of them. I now have 11 left. I rest for a minute. You do another interval. Say you can get another 7. You've got 14 rope climbs done in 2 intervals. You're looking at 4 more. So you're going to finish it in the 3rd interval. You're always starting each interval with 15 toes to bar and a 50-foot handstand walk. This one's going to be fast, furious. I'm going to test it a little bit at the gym, which is really the only place I can do that on Thursday morning. 18 rope climbs is a lot, but it's likely that maybe the best person in the entire field will finish this in 2 intervals. It's very likely that it's going to be 3 for most people, 4 for some. I think I can get this done in 3, which means that you're basically you're going to do 18 rope climbs in 8 minutes. I've been doing a lot of rope climb workouts where you just do like one every 15 seconds, up to 15 reps, which is like 3.5 minutes. You do 15 rope climbs. So I more than have the capacity for 18 rope climbs at a high intensity like this. Hard to say how those 15 toes to bar, which will be 45 toes to bar once you get into the 3rd round, and some handstand walking will affect the core. It definitely will a little bit, but I think we should be fine. And I think this is a great way for toes to bar to show up for me. I'm great at intervals. When you give me a minute rest, I can my repeatability and, give me a minute to rest and I can get back to almost 100% for the next round. Handstand walking, it's a great way for handstand walking to show up for me. It's not too much, not too many toes bar, not too much handstand walking. And I've been working on the rope climbs. I think we might be able to sneak a top 10 here. We'll see. And this is one where you're going to have to take a chance. Like, you get to that rope and you are basically throwing caution to the wind, knowing that you get a minute of rest. Because somewhere in that 3rd round, the middle of that 3rd round, is when people are going to start to finish their 18 rope climbs, and every second counts, every rep counts. So that is Saturday night. And then Sunday, there is one workout window where you'll basically do a back-to-back, and that starts with a 6-minute time frame of just 1 rep max snatch. And I practiced this on 4 days ago on Friday and tied my all-time PR in the garage at the end of the hard training cycle, this whole thing. One of the final workouts before truly tapering off this week. And I was able to snatch 280, and I did it within a 6-minute cap. I simulated the prep time, the corral time of like getting your final warm up and then having to go out to the, wait behind the scenes and then get walked out and wait till your time is to snatch. Kind of a weird way that they're going about this is half the lanes, basically every other lane is part of either group 1 or group 2. Group 1 at the call of 3, 2, 1, go gets 0 to 1 minutes to lift. You get as many lifts in that 1 minute as you can, and then you have to rest minute 1 to 2. The other half of the competitors rest from 0 to 1 and lift from 1 to 2. So you only get 3 1-minute windows with 3 1-minute rests in between. It doesn't change a whole lot because you're gonna wanna rest, especially if you're hitting your lifts, you're gonna wanna rest and take that 1 minute anyway. But it adds a bit of a funky way that you could approach this. My goal is to hopefully, if I'm feeling good, uh, hit 245, somewhere between 245 and 250 to start, maybe 255. And if I feel really good, and that goes up easy, move to 270, uh, 270, 275. And then again, if that goes well in my last window, go for 280, 285, a PR. And if I can get, I really need to snatch 275, and I think I'll be fine there. And if I do, I think that'll be a top 5 or 6 snatch. So that's a good finish for me here. If I get into the 280s plus, that could be a top 3 finish. Um, and it's called Prove It, and it will be that kind of event. You got to go out there and perform when it matters. And this will be a really fun one. You get a short break, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and you'll move to the other floor for the final event of the competition, which is called Goblet of Fire, which happens to be my favorite Harry Potter book and probably ends up being my favorite workout of the weekend. Um, Very simple. Actually, it's not very simple, but it's 3 rounds for time with an 8-minute cap of 10 strict handstand push-ups. Great for your boy. 20 goblet squats, which ascend in weight, starting at 50, then to 70, then to 90. Not really a big deal. So 10 strict handstand push-ups, 20 goblet squats, back down to 10 burpee broad jumps. There's a 5-foot increment on the floor, and you basically burpee broad jump from one side to the other, turn around, go back and forth for 10, and then 20-foot out and back overhead walking lunge with the dumbbell for that round. Strict handstand push-ups, great movement for me. Burpee broad jumps, probably as good of a movement for me as anybody. Single dumbbell overhead walking lunge, especially as it gets heavier, very good movement for me. This is all relative to the field. And goblet squats, probably the best form of squatting at volume that I could get. And I've practiced with the 75 in several workouts of goblet squatting, and it doesn't really affect me. I can get through that number of goblet squats just fine. This is going to be fast. Even without the overhead walking lunge, uh, which is going to take probably 20 to 25 seconds each round, you're looking at 40 reps a round. It's only an 8-minute time cap. So, even to finish, you're going to have to move on this. And if you really want to finish high, you got to really move. This is a fast workout. And this is going to be one where I come out probably pretty hot and try and hold on, and just try and trust that it's the last workout of the weekend. We're trying to die for points, and I know that I'm good at these movements. So, very fun one. This one, the snatch, the rope climb one, Saturday night, those are all good workouts for me. We end on 3 good workouts, which could be good for the mental as we get more physically tired. Um, and we have to start out tough on Friday and just be tough with the sandbag and bar muscle ups, and uh, that's kind of where we're at. So, for anybody who wonders what this weekend looks like, that's what it is. 9 events. It's going to be pretty grueling. Um, I'll be absolutely torched by the end of the weekend, but I am again trying to have fun, trying to enjoy this whole thing, and it's been a blast just having this as the goal and training for this and the entire journey. I'm the fittest I've ever been right now in my life, and hopefully we get to show that. I'll be back in 2 weeks, ho- hopefully, probably with the first recap pod. And if you're interested in how I did at this competition, I'll probably do some Instagram recaps as well of each event. Um, I did pay for the photography and video footage at this event, so I will have pictures of each event and plenty of documentation of this whole ordeal. Appreciate you guys listening. Talk next time. Peace.